Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 36, season 2. Kevin, this is what, episode like 88 in general?
Yeah, you were
Three
almost to episode 100.
That'll be the episode right before the brawl if I'm doing the math out right.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna be fantastic.
Ooh. All right, so tonight we have the pleasure of having our former sport management professor, the infamous Dr. Jones. Doc, say hello.
Hey guys, I don't know how I got talked into being on a podcast with former students who have the microphone, so I think I'm in trouble. I think I am in trouble.
Doc, you were the one that asked when I said, "Would you like to join us?" You were like, "I was wondering when you'd ask." So,
well, listen, I felt a little left out here, a little underappreciated. You guys been making noise. You guys been making noise coast to coast. I think you're going to be getting what's his name a little bit of trouble. You remember you were after him though.
which one? Who?
Who has this talk show now? WVU
Oh, Pat.
former
Pat McAfee. Yeah.
He was one of my former students.
Oh, you've got to
Was
have
he
story.
really?
There's got to be
Oh, yeah.
stories to him.
Oh my goodness gracious! Listen to me. Of course, he's from the Pennsylvania kid.
Yep.
He was skinny, kind of a nerdy, like, you know what I mean. He sat in the back of the classroom, and guess what he did the whole period?
Draw.
Exactly. How did you know he would doodle?
Because there's two students that used to do the exact same thing right here in front of you.
No. I did not draw.
No.
Merritt definitely draw.
Oh my goodness.
I
You
paid
are-
attention in class. Or I came late. 100% came late.
They
There
would
are
have to
definitely
save
times
you a seat in
I
the
came
corner.
late, yes, because I would,
It'd be me, Eric, Leland, and then all of a sudden we're like, all right, we're gonna save this one seat way in the corner for Kevin, and Kevin will show up 10 minutes late, and then rifle through everybody, and Doc won't even notice that Kevin's late because he can't see over everybody.
that's a good point.
But really, for McAfee's credit, he was one of the smartest kids. But he was also he had that he was unflappable. You know what I mean? Nothing bothered him when he was in a tough situation. He just exerted cool, calm. You never was able to rattle him, and I think that really translated a lot because of his being a kicker and his ability to be able to overcome stress and adversity and challenges that might sometimes get other people, frustrated or lose their cool. And he was able to. Man, he was really, really kind of what I call he was a unique person to say the least. You know what I mean?
Unique
Yeah,
personality.
unique is a very
he was a
very
unique
good way
person.
to put that one.
Yeah. But I loved him and enjoyed having him in class. I'm so glad for his success now and continue to wish him well.
That's our goal, Doc, is to get to that level. Will it ever happen? We don't know, but that's our goal.
I would even love to even be on his show. That would be a dream.
Well, I don't. I'm sure that's not that hard to do. We just make a couple of calls and say, "Hey, Pat, got a couple of special guests for you," and let him get you guys on for 5 minutes or so. A short amount of time.
We'll throw your name out there, Doc, and that'll probably get it going.
Well, hey, I don't think that'll work, but we can give it a try.
Hey, I'll take whatever I can get at this point, right?
Absolutely.
Why am I watching that? I don't want to watch baseball.
The road to success is filled with many challenges, opportunities, and
You're telling me, Doc. I've been 10 years removed from college, and it's up and down all over the place.
Are we allowed to talk about you and your?
We will. Wait, what?
Okay.
About what?
Your new baby on the way. I mean, have
Oh,
you
of
shared
course.
that with him?
Yeah. Well, so I'll say that now because Doc just mentioned it. If you guys haven't seen the post that Kevin put out there, that I put out there, that my wife put out there, we are expecting our first child December of this year.
Amazing.
We are having a baby boy, so there will be another Merritt Peasley in the world. Everyone, you're screwed. You're screwed. Like, it's my son. It's gonna be
lots of trouble coming.
Dude, you know how hard it is to have like a family name and then try to figure out a middle name that works with that family name? It's impossible. we've been wrapping our heads around trying to figure out a middle name for our son since we knew we were pregnant. We're like, all right, well, this is what we want to do here. We got the girl's name, easy. Boy's name, Merritt something Peasley. So if you all want to have like suggestions and comments, just throw it underneath the Instagram post, throw it on the in the comments for all the podcast and the YouTube page. See what we come up with. I will throw it out to the ethers at this point.
But I have the best name you could choose.
Oh no.
Oh yes, I think it would be perfect, and we could have it just call it's MLP, Merritt Lee Easley.
Ooh, Lee.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Lee.
good.
I kind of like it. Ooh, man.
That's actually really good.
I might throw that one at the wife, Doc. I might
Yeah,
throw
see
that
what
at
she
her and see
says.
what she says.
But you know what you should do. This is how you do this to get women to kind of agree with you.
Oh
Of course,
boy.
I know I don't want this to be a sexist comment, but
This is
you
going
know,
to be Doc's love advice, everybody.
now listen to me. You say, make the middle name first, Leon, and then she'll look at that and say, "Oh no, Leon's not going. Well, how about Lee? Oh yeah, that's better." You know what I mean? So go to the length of getting her a little off her game, and then come back with the soft touch. You know what I mean?
I would even take Merritt Leon Peasley. That's I would take that.
Oh my
Oh
God.
really?
I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm going to make my wife listen to just this portion of the episode and see what she
Oh.
says.
I've seen her on some of your posts. She looks to me like you married up. I'm telling you.
Oh, I did. Oh, 100% married up. I am a fool. Like, how did I get lucky enough? Like, seriously.
And what I think is so funny about that is that, we know that, you are this macho kind of guy. You got to wear a beard. You're out here in the wild and woolies doing outdoor stuff. You know what I mean? So you probably were able to, catch her at a weak moment. You know what I mean?
Probably. I must have been, because there's no way she would have said yes to me in general. Let's be honest. We're talking to one of my best friends about being married and stuff, and we looked at our wives and we both went, "You guys would have hated us in college." And they both looked at each other, smiled, started laughing, and said, "Yeah, you guys sounded like you were kind of assholes." And I was like,
We're not even talking about how bad you treated your favorite professor. I mean, you all gave me a hard time.
"Oh, we'll get there.
my
Don't worry. We will 100% get
Oh
there,
my
Doc."
gosh.
So we'll keep going along with the normal episode here. Weekly sports update, NBA finals. I got Steve Harvey on behind me now. But NBA finals game 5 tonight. Nuggets looking to clinch it, which I hope they do. I haven't watched the game, so Kevin, it's up to you. I literally haven't watched a single game of this finals.
I mean, I think they should clinch it tonight. They're just too dominant. The Nuggets are too dominant right now with who they have. I mean, unless Jimmy Butler all of a sudden becomes Jimmy Buckets again and he gets help from his teammates, that's really going to be the only way that they win. But they're going to be in Denver. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be excited. It's going to take a lot.
Strus has looked, from what I've read, has been like, can't hit the broadside of a barn, can't hit the ocean, like can't hit anything at this point.
Yeah, they haven't had their bench the way that the bench showed up in the previous series. The bench hasn't shown up in this one at all. So I'm just really hoping that the Nuggets just kind of finish this off. The Joker, we can celebrate his first ring and finally give the Nuggets a little bit of damn respect, because it's always been, oh, but the other team this, oh, but the other team that. The Nuggets need to get their respect that they deserve, because they've earned the right for it. If they win this championship, they've earned it.
I totally agree.
One of your favorite former students is in their office, works in their front office.
Johnny.
No. She played volleyball at WVU. Had the highest, still has a record, I think, the highest number of spikes of any player
Who?
in WVU history. I went to a game last year, as a matter of fact. She got us tickets. Me and my brother-in-law had a great time.
Is it for the Nuggets?
Yes, Denver Nuggets.
And what's she do for them?
Well, she really is one of their inside sales, but she does a lot of the more executive administrative support for the staff.
Oh, I can
I got
find this information out.
yes. I'm not going to tell you her name. You should know. You know it all. Your peers and former classmates
Did
are
she
going
graduate
through.
with us?
She graduated probably right around the time that you all graduated. Yes, she did.
10 years ago?
Oh no, she was young. She's younger than you all. She's
Okay,
younger.
so we won't know her.
We
Oh
probably
yes, but you keep
was
up
she?
with
Were we
all.
there?
Uh, well, you went to all the volleyball games, didn't you?
I went to like two.
I mean, I went to a couple.
I went
What?
to like two, and I hung up, like, went and chilled with Steph afterwards and some of the other girls from the volleyball team that I knew. But that was like
Okay.
that was our our junior year, or,
Yeah, this is
or
under the
senior
new
year.
coach. Yeah, new coach Morgan Montgomery. Morgan Montgomery.
Morgan Montgomery. I feel
Yes.
like. Let me see.
Oh, you had to know her. She
Literally, you
is
type in
one-
Morgan and start typing Montgomery. The first thing that comes up is Denver Nuggets.
Yep,
Yeah.
she's there. Yeah, she's
Oh,
really
wow.
a sharp professional, and she's been there. I think only 3 years now, and she's really moving up quickly. She's going to be an executive in the C suites before the next 5 years are up. I believe.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
your
hard.
dad
It's
was.
hard to move up in that NBA world. It's tough. I
It
give
is,
a lot
it
of
really is.
kudos.
Yeah, Doc, I don't know her. She literally, Doc,
What?
you're telling us we should know this girl. I'm looking
Right.
at her LinkedIn right now.
Me too.
She did not go to West Virginia until we were both out of school. She started in
Well-
2014.
Well, don't you guys keep up with
No,
your famous graduates, alumni? Come on.
We're
I keep up with
trying.
my
It's a
alumni
lot.
class.
Yeah, I try to keep up with my alumni class too.
You should be catching all those, getting them in your LinkedIn. Because think about it, you'd love to be able to maybe next week have her come on the show and talk about the experience of being the female WVU grad who's getting a championship ring. That would be really nice. So
Jeez.
that's my advice to you.
We're
Go
gonna
in
have
there.
to pay Doc for stuff, and I have to pay my wife for stuff. Like
Yep.
these suggestions.
Just setting up dimes for us. We're gonna moving on up the ladder.
It's called
Nerd.
layups, Kevin. Layups.
Yes.
I
Um,
think she'd be great too. She got a great sense of humor and she's really fun to be around. So yeah,
Cool.
give her hit her up next week and
I'll
link-
connect. I'll connect with her on LinkedIn and be like, "Hey, Doc Jones told me to reach out to you."
All right.
That's
perfect.
that's
I've
how.
already sent the invite.
Did
as
you?
well
Did
to
you
connect?
please put a note in there saying, "Please connect with me," because Doc Jones told me to.
see. I'm going to get you on McAfee show.
If
I'll
you can
get
do
you.
that, like,
If you get us the Patty Mac show, Doc,
I don't know
oh
what
my
I would do.
goodness. I don't know what I would do either.
I don't know. All right, let's keep going. NHL Finals. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are up 3-1 on the Florida Panthers. It seems like
season's over.
both Florida teams could lose tonight and tomorrow night. Honestly, it'd be kind of cool to see the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup because they've gone 2 out of their 4. I think this is only year 4 or 5 that they've actually been a part of the NHL.
Mhm.
So they've gone twice and they win it once. That's pretty dang cool. Then we got the news from the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins visited the Titans yesterday, left today, but apparently they left on good terms, no contract. Thank God, because he's going to the Patriots at some point this week. And we keep dumping people left and right to make more salary caps. So fingers are crossed for the Patriots to sign DeAndre Hopkins.
Hey, now you know who is with the Florida Panthers in their executive level? Who's a WVU grad?
What the hell? How does Doc know all this? Like,
Because they're my former students. Believe it or not, I have a Florida Panthers backpack that he sent to me.
Actually,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not surprised by that for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, he was with Army. He was with Maryland. He's really gotten around, and he came to speak. He was on my my Zoom room and he's really such a great guy.
What?
I'm not gonna
Oh my goodness, the Zoom. Your
You're
Zoom
not going
room.
to say his name again.
huh?
You're not going to tell us his name.
No, I'm not.
The
Okay, I'll
Zoom
tell.
room. The Zoom room is infamous. You had many in that
I
Zoom
know,
room.
I know, I
Yeah,
know.
you've had-
Legends. That's why I'm honored that I was a legend to be a part of that Zoom room as well.
Right, but he's a great guy. He'll come on your podcast as well. He's
Oh,
a
that'd be
great guy.
great.
Yeah.
It's the best way to find out who he is you telling us his name.
Oh my goodness! See, I'm doing your work for you. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, Doc,
Look,
I had to do a lot of papers for you.
look-
This is payback.
Hey,
This
but
is
listen to me.
retribution.
Listen to me.
What?
Did those papers? Y'all did one paper. You passed it around, and everybody turned it in at
I-
different times.
I do have a story about that. I will tell you later, so you don't try to yell at me now. But I will tell you a story about that later.
His name is Jobin.
Jobin.
Look it up. Yeah.
What?
It was with the Florida Panthers.
Brandon? Maybe. Yeah, Brandon
yeah,
Jobin.
Brandon
Oh,
Jobin.
yeah, I know Brandon.
See, guys, I'm telling you all this good information. You don't even know. You have him on your show the week after next.
I'm pretty
Talk about
sure.
how's it feel to get.
I don't know if I know this guy. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I know him.
You do?
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
he graduated with me.
All right. Well, so
He was
man,
very quiet.
you got the in on that one. So
He was very quiet. Very nice though.
I'll go ahead and follow him too. So
There we
Doc
go.
just keeping me in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Doc.
in. I was in the airport in Toronto, and all my luggage got lost except my Florida Panthers backpack. So I was happy to get that.
Oh my gosh.
They're up in Toronto going, what is this? This is not blue or white. We don't want this. Ew. Give it back to him.
Yeah. Well, I got it. My luggage came about 3 days later.
Oh, well, at least you got it, right?
Sure.
Kevin, I did call this again. The
You did
Celtics
call us
signing.
again.
I've called 2 Celtic signings, and it's both been coaches. Celtics have signed Charles Lee as their head assistant coach under Joe Mazzulla. Doc, another W graduate right there. Huge help. He's got what, 9 years of coaching experience, all with Budenholzer in Atlanta, and then with the Bucks. He became the head assistant in Milwaukee last year after whoever left to take Harmon, the LA coach, Kevin.
LA, which one?
The
Clippers?
Lakers.
The Lakers, Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham, yeah. Darvin Ham was the head assistant coach at the Bucks, and then he left, went to Lakers. Charles Lee stepped in as the head assistant. He is now the head assistant in Boston, and Doc has left his camera. Sad. He's back. Now he's just on mute. So there's that. And then Kevin, I'm gonna let this one be you because you love this player more than probably any NBA player, WNBA player out there. So
I mean, this player yesterday had her jersey retirement over in Seattle. Sue Bird, probably one of the best to ever do it. 21 years in the WNBA. I mean, I followed her all the way since her UConn days. Not gonna lie, I would have went to UConn if I could have got in because I loved the Sue Bird that much and the women's team. But yesterday they retired her jersey. I'm not gonna lie, the Storm had a rough game that day, and they almost made it competitive. They almost came back and won, but the Mystics ended up beating them at the end. But that still didn't deter from having a great ceremony for Sue Bird. They pretty much laid out they did a green carpet, but essentially the red carpet for Sue. When she came in, somebody painted her a huge mural in the city of Seattle. Every one of the sports teams there lit up their arena in green the night before to prepare.
Didn't they do something on the Space Needle too?
Yep, they lit it up green, and then they put up her banner.
That's what 10, the banner. Okay.
Up at the infamous Space Needle. It was a sold out packed arena at the whatever the arena is called, the Climate Park something arena, Savings Energy Arena.
Let's just call it the Amazon Prime Arena. Let's be honest, it's
how
it got there.
But shout out to the Storm for doing a great things for her. She deserved it. Hell of a career. And we'll see what she does next. Sue Bird. Shout out to Sue Bird out here.
I did like her suit, that all green suit. That was dope.
So let's talk about the impact that she and a lot of those other WNBA players have made on the marketing,
Absolutely.
the salaries, the interest, the
Mhm.
entertainment factor. They really enhanced the quality of the game to the point that they're going to sign probably one of the more richer deals when their league contract comes up again. And I think it'll reflect in more pay for the players. Right
Mhm.
now, I'm watching them come on TV on TNT and other not necessarily sport channels.
Mhm.
This is interesting, and I know we talked about this when you're in my class, how the NBA
As
has
I
held down.
as I just texted
Yeah.
Kevin saying it's class all over again.
Don't say that. How the NBA has held the WNBA down for so long, artificially, manipulated their salaries, has forced them to play in the summer and restricted a lot of their commercial ventures, particularly in TV deals and things that they don't want to compete against. But the women are really starting to gain traction with the entertainment value. They're starting to really have their game targeted by a lot of younger fans who have a lot of interest.
I
And
think the
you're going to see.
biggest I think the biggest thing is now the social media aspect for it. Let's be honest, like when we were kids, Kevin and I still understood what basketball was, but the WNBA was what, 8 teams? It's still not many teams. It's still slowly expanding. They're looking to expand to more cities. But look at all the college stars that we have now and look at how they've translated into the WNBA, and they're not even all there yet.
But here's the thing, though, that the WNBA needs to fix. They need to figure out a way to get more players in the league. I don't know if you guys saw, like 3/4 of the first round draft picks this year didn't make their league squad and that's a problem because then how do you
they don't have the
develop new
room.
stars? They don't have the room. So the WNBA needs to figure out a way to get some more pay. They got to make more money. And then the key, I think, that just needs more eyes on the product. So
they are the good thing for them is the signing with the NBA to be more exclusive and get more out there and more branding at NBA games, as well as branding on ESPN, on TNT, like Doc mentioned, all these other networks is huge. But they need to expand. That's hands down, they have to, because you're losing too many good girls across overseas because they play all year round.
But they need to play during basketball season. They need to play during basketball season. If they play during basketball season, they would just absolutely rock the place. The other thing, too, you notice that some of these girls in college are making more than the WNBA players.
Can you imagine the NIL? Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
yeah. Hey, the 2 girls down at LSU, 3 girls down at LSU, I think bring in over $10 million total.
Like, isn't that something?
That's crazy.
And they go to the WNBA and they're like, oh, it's like crumbs. So they're gonna stay in school.
Yeah, what?
Exactly.
Well, the WNBA, they stay. I think they have to stay in school. I don't think they can come out early.
They can come out early. They absolutely can come out early. They can come out by at least their similar to NFL by junior year. They can absolutely come out early. They've had a couple.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where you don't see it that much. You usually see them as all seniors that graduate and then they go.
Yeah, the girl from South Carolina, she came out early last year. She's in the NBA, WNBA this year. Yeah, I can't think of her name, but she came out. But I really think that what the WNBA needs, but they're never going to get, they need a divorce from the NBA. They do not need to be a little sister to the NBA. Go your own way. Have a whole different, franchise deal with some TV network or some, just like you said, with Amazon or some big, deep-pocketed, enterprise, and let them chart their own way. Play when they want to, expand the number of teams, make deals with the cities, make deals with
the problem the problem that you have with trying to have everyone play at the same time, like during the basketball season, is a lot of the WNBA teams, minus I want to say the Suns
And the Aces.
and the Aces, all play in NBA or hockey arenas. The Seattle Storm play where the Seattle Kraken play. So you have to balance that schedule. If you look at the Phoenix Mercury, they have to balance between the Suns. You know, it's Brooklyn. The Liberty would have to go with the Nets schedule. So you're still having these headaches of trying to figure that out. The three of us will never figure it out because that's not our job. Thank God, because that would just be a nightmare. I can't wait. Kevin and I are actually going to a game in like just over 3 weeks.
Yep.
So
We're gonna see the Liberty play. I actually believe it is the Storm.
I think it is
Yeah, they're gonna play the Storm on a Saturday.
July 8th.
Really excited to see that one.
Yeah.
For our We Out Here segment of the
Woo!
podcast.
Another edition. Finally. It's been a while.
Yes.
All right, so let's go to the West Virginia news. Main focus is football. Baseball is over. Everything for West Virginia sports is done with at this point. Basketball is back in practicing, which is good. But football signed 2 edge rushers over the weekend and an offensive lineman, but I couldn't find his name.
Now you mean sign or commit?
Sign. That's what I saw. It said sign.
Because
they can sign early.
They can't sign early.
They can sign, and it's called sign, but it's just like basically saying that that's where they're going to go. It's not their national letter of intent. It's just I'm signing to say this is where I'm going, unless something changes over the next 6 months.
But wait, then what's the difference between that and then
National signing days when you're actually committing to the school?
I don't know about that, sir.
That's how it kind of came across when I was reading everything, because it's every article said signed.
Let me see this. Hold on.
So, as Kevin's looking this up, the West Virginia football signed star edge rusher Elijah Kinsler for the 2024 class, who is also going to go to Pitt. So we stole him from Pitt. So I'll take that. I like that idea. And then we also signed 4-star edge rusher Abina Anwuka. I definitely butchered that name. Oh my God. I'm so sorry if you ever hear this podcast, Sarah, because that was horrible. So I do apologize. But we signed those 2 for the class of 2024, which is good because our defense is god awful.
So I'm looking at this merit from WV Sports Now, 2024 edge rusher Elijah Kinsler committed.
Oh, the 3 articles I saw said signed.
Well, they screwing up out here.
Well, then they suck.
Yeah. He's from Oradell, New Jersey, in which he attends Bergen Catholic, a huge football school here in the state of New Jersey. And he is committed to the Mountaineers for this year. If he stays, hopefully, 6'4", 250-pounder defensive end. He had 10 offers on the table. Yeah. There are a bunch of like mid-level teams. The main ones that were on there was Miami, Florida, Pitt, Purdue, Louisville, Syracuse, and Toledo. And Rutgers and Cincy too.
I saw that Pitt when West Virginia were his top 2.
You gotta love that.
Thank God. And then the biggest thing that I put on here right before I jumped on was, if you want tickets to the West Virginia Pitt game, the backyard brawl, you got to go through the secondary market. There's no way to get them unless you buy a mini pack from WU Sports. You cannot buy the single game tickets for that one. I already looked.
And think about this, guys. This is almost a role reversal, because Pitt was one of the earlier schools that had this practice because they couldn't sell very many games. They would have a big marquee game that would sell out, and then the next games they had 10 or 15,000 fans. So West Virginia, whose interest right now among the fans in football has waned quite a bit. Now, there's not a lot of people that are really standing on their toes in anticipation of the football season, which I don't know why, because I think West Virginia is going to have an excellent year. I think they're going to really have a bust out year, and I'm looking forward to them really taking command in the Big 12.
Look at Doc with a mic drop moment right there. Because
Look at
honestly,
that.
Doc, if you've listened to us talk,
Merritt has no faith in the football team, Doc.
I
What?
Merritt has
don't even
absolutely no
start.
faith.
You are in the
No.
same boat.
I am not as bad as you. I try to have at least somewhat of a half glass full mentality.
Okay, but it's, for the past 3-4 weeks, we've said if we lose to Pitt, who is fired, and you have 100% agreed.
Which I do agree with.
That's what I said. I think that we're going to be mid-level at best this year. I don't think we're going to be god awful, but I think we're going to be in the middle tier. We're not top tier right now in the Big 12. I think we need a new coach and a couple of different changes to do that.
Well, I don't think so. I think if you really look at it, guys, what makes a good team? A lot of
players.
people understand exactly talent. So if you have the talent, you can win. But one of the things that has really gotten me to be more keenly aware of the potential of the Mountaineers this year is what happened at the end of last year. They went on a winning streak, and that winning streak really solidified a lot of their passion and commitment to the coach, to the fan base, and to the players. And so these guys are playing for pride. They're playing for their coach. They're playing because they love WVU. And I'm convinced that that means a lot, particularly when you play in the Big 12, where you're traveling, 2 or 3 time zones every weekend. We have Thursday night games. We have a pretty.
I hope they get rid of the Thursday night games.
Yeah, they're not going to. They're going to have games on every night of the week if we don't watch out. However, I'm convinced, guys, mark my word for it, WVU is going to make some noise in the Big 12 this year. They have 2 quarterbacks that are just as dynamic. And the other thing, too, that they're going to do, you're going to see them try to run a spread offense where they do a lot of play action, a lot of, quarterback option kind of
Doc,
play.
have you been at practices, or do you have inside scoops?
I have been looking at this from the standpoint of who are they hiring to coach. They're bringing back some of the West Virginia Mountaineers who played during the times when we had some of those quarterbacks who were pretty mobile, and they had a pretty spread offense. In the Big 12, a lot of it is just, we're going to, protect the passer, pass about 50 times a game and run when we have to.
We're not going to be a passing team. We have a 3-headed monster in the backfield with Donaldson back there. We lost Mathis, but we had the 2 freshmen that showed up during the OK State game. Yeah, we're not passing the ball. We're running.
It'll be very seldom if we pass it. But the thing is, they keep talking about this tight end from LSU, 6'7", that they want to try to expose, and he's a hell of a
good blocking tight end too.
Yeah, he's a blocker, a good pass catcher. So if they can some way utilize him properly and get him open, and he does what everybody says that he is, then I'm with Doc. And then, but at the same time, we have a great offensive line. We haven't even talked about the offensive line.
Oh, that's going to be
the offensive line is probably one of our best
that's our strength
points
that
right
is
now, which we haven't had in a long time.
And then Pat McAfee, let's throw it back to him real quick. He literally said Garrett Green is the truth on his podcast. He said that he is going to ball out and be the player that we need. I think watching him down the stretch, I liked him more than I'd liked. Yeah, I already forgot his name from last year. No. I love Nico. I think Nico.
Oh, you're talking about JT Daniels.
Yeah, that guy. He was good for 3 games and then fell apart. But
we didn't know is that he actually got hurt in the beginning of the season, which ended up
during the Pitt
his
game.
Downfall. Yeah, he got hurt in the Pitt game, and then he never fully recovered. Which is
he still with the team?
No, he left. He's in.
It's somewhere in Texas. It's a school in Texas.
Rice.
Right, there you go.
Rice. He went to Rice. Mm-hmm. So he left.
But I think that we'll have 8 wins and a bowl and a
Wow.
good bowl.
Do we win the bowl game or do we lose?
Oh yeah. I think we'll win the bowl game.
Okay.
I would love a win for a bowl game. I'm not gonna lie,
We
Doc. I
haven't
hope
really
you're
won
right.
many bowl games lately, so it'd be nice to win one.
Yeah, it might not be a New Year's Six, but I think it'll be a high quality bowl that will
Hey.
reflect.
Whether it's the Cheez-It Bowl, Alamo Bowl,
A pinstripe bowl.
wherever, I will take any bowl win just so we can say we are a bowl win champion.
Kevin,
Now,
if it's the
come on.
pinstripe bowl, we'll go because it's literally like an hour from both of us.
Guys, come on now. We don't want to go to the bottom. Let's at least go to the mid to the high part. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Doc, we
not
gotta start
desperate.
somewhere,
We're not
though.
desperate, but we're not desperate. We're not desperate. Mountaineers, we're not desperate. I think we'll do fine.
All right, well, let's jump into the next part of it where we talk about what we're wearing. Kevin, you start us off.
Sure. So I am wearing a West Virginia jersey, number 3. This was from when I helped volunteer with the Sport Management Club, my senior year, helping out with the gear sale.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I was able to get this jersey as a part of helping out, and it's one of my favorites. It still fits over my body after 11 years, and I love
Who
it.
was that back then?
This jersey. So fun fact, this was Joe Mazzulla's number when they were these jerseys. But this is actually a women's jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So
was gonna
whoever
say,
wore
is that
number
Casey?
3, number 3 for the ladies.
What year? I have to go back and find it.
I'd
all.
have to go. So before we were there, it'd have to be.
Oh no, I'm not doing that again. That took way too long.
Yeah, so we'll look it up later. But it's a women's jersey. It's a number 3 jersey. I'm happy I have it. I intend on keeping all these ones that I have and framing them whenever I move into my own man cave.
Or when your parents leave you that house when they move to California or Hawaii.
That too.
It's also the jersey number of one of the more famous Mountaineer basketball players. If you remember, we won the Big East the year he played. He was the one who took us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he took us to the Elite 8, and we got beat by Duke that year.
Shout out to Devin Ebanks.
Yes, that's it. No, it wasn't Devin.
Yeah,
no, wasn't
Devin was 3.
Was he? No. Are you sure? I don't think so. No.
Butler was 1.
It was
Butler
Devin,
was 1. Okay.
Devin was 3, and then Kevin Jones is 5.
KJ.
Okay. Yeah. That was some great Big East teams. I loved basketball back in those days.
Right?
That was some real balling.
I can't wait for this basketball team this year, but that'll be that is going to be fun.
What do you think about your coach?
Whatever. He said what he said. It's done. It's over.
It's done. It's over. He understands the mistake he made. Again, and I said it on the podcast several times, Doc. What in tarnations are you doing talking to a Cincinnati radio station? For what reason? There isn't any. But hey,
there's one word. It's called hubris. It's hubris. You know, he feels so entitled and so isolated and so insulated, and he proved it to be right. I mean, the most powerful man in West Virginia. The one reason I'll tell this quick story. I love how good, he was a graduate of our college, and he donates a lot of money. He raises a lot of money, and then he's really a great guy.
I love him. He's fantastic when you actually talk with him. He's a great dude.
One of the things, and he's real smart too. He's really smart. One of the things that always intrigued me though was that if we had a lot of those players in our class, and they would come to class and they would do things that they may not have supposed to do based upon their rules. And I would send a note to the coach every once in a while, hey, so and so missed class for a week, or so and so didn't turn in paperwork or whatever. And finally, a player came to me one day and said, Doc, please don't send any more information to the coaches, because they use that information to penalize us. They'll call agents and tell them, they'll block us from talking to people. I mean, and I felt really bad. And ever since that guy talked to me, I never sent any more information in to the coaches about that. I said, okay, you're just like Cueva and Merritt. If you don't do your work, then you'll get what you get. You know what I mean? It's on you. It's on you. Yes. Exactly. But listen, one other quick story about football. Think about this. We have one football player that was in my class and he was
Mhm.
accused. He was accused of having someone, go online. It was an online class and do his work for him. The university asked me very politely to write a letter saying that he was, cheating, and that if I did that, they could kick him out of university. Of course, I said, "Wait a minute! Now, how many students do I know who have somebody else turn into, even if their girlfriend or their roommate or something like that, go online
Everyone.
and do that?" Exactly. So I didn't do that.
Everyone did it.
But guess what? The guy is right now in the pros, and
Mhm.
he's playing in Pittsburgh. So I said, I said, hey, that is a strange thing how time equalizes things a lot. But back to Huggins real quickly. Only one thing that I felt good about that situation is that I wanted to see him sweat a little bit because he made those players sweat all the time. You weren't in the gym today. You don't really know how to do this, you whatever. So for once, you saw Huggins kind of, pulling his, shirt collar a little bit,
Yeah,
like
but
he was about to sweat.
everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to fire him." It's like, well, no, you're not, because you're not going to fire the coach who is the best individual in the state. Plus, it is after the season. You want to go find a new head coach? No, you don't. You just had to go
Yep.
find a brand new women's basketball head coach. You don't want to go find a men's and then lose all these recruits you just brought in. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Let him ride it out. He's probably going to retire after that. He's a Hall of Fame coach. And guess what? He's 60, almost 70 years old. He grew,
69.
yeah, he grew up in a different time.
Yeah,
And
he
that's
really
just
did.
how it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just got to let it be at this point. But I'll go continue our apparel stuff. I'm wearing Humbly, City of Boston, after Jason Tatum said he was humbly one of the best players in the NBA. That came back and bit him in the ass. That series against the Heat. Oh God, still can't get over that, but it's okay. My
What
team.
happened? What
We
happened?
sucked. We couldn't hit a three to save our lives.
Well, it seemed to me like though that the team was dominant at the end of the season. They were beating everybody coming and going.
Yeah,
What
but
happened?
then
They
they
didn't beat
got.
the Knicks though. We were there for that.
Yeah, that was horrible. I didn't like that, but that was fun. We had a great time.
That was a great trip.
They just, if they hit less than 40% of their threes, they lost. They have to hit over 40% of their threes, and their rotation was horrible down the stretch. Like,
But to be honest with you, though, the player I think that was more responsible for losing the series than anybody was Marcus Smart. I mean, when you play those games, you have to have those role players come up big at least some of the games. And Marcus never played.
yeah, he
He
did.
didn't play.
He
Oh,
he,
come
he
on.
scored 24 points in one of the games that they won.
Okay.
He also
and what
had
did he score?
tennis. He also was averaging almost a double in every single game. So
Well,
he was
when I
there performing. You had guys
well,
like Al Horford who couldn't shoot at all. He scored, I think, in the whole series against the Miami Heat, 20 points. 20 points from one of your best players.
do you blame the coach?
No. I think down to the end, Joe Mazzulla's first year coaching, and he lost his only player coach in Damon Stoudemire when he left to go to Georgia Tech. So he lost that individual that's experienced the NBA playoffs and how to run certain things. You lose that, it's a huge loss. That's why you saw the Celtics go and get Sam Cassell, and now they got Charles Lee. They have guys that have been in the NBA that have played at high levels. Sam Cassell has a couple of NBA championship rings. He's been an assistant for, what do we say, Kevin, like 14 years at this point now.
Yeah.
So he knows how to run offenses. He knows how to do things. So he's going to step in, and you're going to see a lot of different things come up, I think, this year, where the Celtics team will be even better and get back to hopefully being a defensive oriented team instead of just a shoot the ball, run back, shoot the ball, run. So we'll see. But you got a lot of things to change.
Is the one kid going to stay with the team? I mean, he has a max contract offer. Is he sticking around?
Well, he has 1 year left on his current deal. So he technically is stuck with the Celtics until at least next summer in Jaylen Brown. More than likely, they will sign him to that deal because he is a good side. He and Tatum, depending on the day, are almost always neck and neck on what they can do. But
yeah, I saw Tatum in the Olympics, and he single-handedly helped us win the Olympics along with Kevin Durant. But Tatum, he was hitting shots from all over in that run for the Olympic gold. So he made a believer out of me at that time.
All right, so Doc, why aren't you wearing West Virginia stuff, and what do you got on?
Well, let me just say this. Listen to me. Now, this is not a good thing. I left West Virginia under not the best terms, so we won't get into that.
No, we won't go there.
Thank you. I owned a home in West Virginia that somebody burnt down. It was not a very pleasant experience. So my love for my home state from time to time is I'm a little contorted. I'm a little unnerved about it, even though I still have my mom's house there and my family members live there. But San Diego State University, they played for the national championship. You talk about a Power 5 school that was struggling to reach the pinnacle, and they were able to do that. They absolutely set the world on notice that a team that is a state university, if you will, was able to compete on the highest stage, and they just barely lost that game. I think they really could have. Connecticut was just overpowering for them. It was an awesome game. So I'm rocking it. San Diego State University. I hope you don't mind. I still have love for my Mountaineers, but I am a Aztec for the night.
There you go.
All right. So let's get into the meat of the conversation. This is now all about Doc, and Doc asking us questions, us asking questions to Doc, and seeing how this conversation goes. As you can probably tell from how this podcast episode has been going, it's off the rails. We aren't even going to know where we're going to land at this point. We're just shooting in the dark.
We were ready for.
Oh, I was 100% ready for this. It's Doc. It's how it always is.
I'm so excited to have Doc finally on.
Hey, but you know what? I really want to make a statement up front that I'm going to disappoint your listeners, because I had to censor a lot of my comments about you guys, because I don't think your audience would be up for it. I mean, this show is an R-rated show.
So you can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you would like.
Just don't drop certain words, because then that like certain words you can't say in general. So let's not say those words, but anything else, yeah.
No,
okay, wherever you want. I think I dropped at least 1 or 2 F-bombs an episode. There's something comes up.
The F word is not as bad as it used to be. Everybody's using it,
That's true.
So it's really interesting.
It's
back
universal.
in my day, I know back in my day, it was like the holy grail of the worst thing you could ever even think of. And now, kids are using it in every language, and it just comes up almost in, with the F and a bunch of N's after it, or, ing, you know what I mean? And so they, everybody knows what it is, no matter how you, label it or hyphenate it, or, put it into some type of So talk to me. What's going on, guys?
All right. So, Doc, I sent you a bunch of questions, like I said, and prior to the episode, we were talking about it. We'll try to go through them all. Probably won't. We'll probably, like I said, derail at some point. That's Kevin's specialty. It's awesome. It is fantastic. Usually it gets us into a very good conversation. So I will throw that at you, Kevin. That's fantastic. But I want to start off with, from your time at West Virginia, what was your favorite memory as a professor there? I know this is a tough one because there's a lot.
Well, when you think about it, this is really a serious question, because I think a lot of people think about, when you talk about your favorite Christmas or your favorite vacation, what you realize is that some of the things that were your favorite were the things that were repeated. You know what I mean? You repeated them. Every Christmas you had your favorite meal, or your favorite uncle, your grandma. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what my favorite time was was any time I had a group of students who came along like you guys, who I connected with. We developed a relationship. You came to my office. We were able to talk crap in class. You know, you all were beating up on me about about the work I was trying to assign you or trying to get you all to wait for me to grade your papers. Doc, you lost my papers. I heard
No,
that all the time.
no, Merritt lost your paper. Whoops. I don't know where it
But-
went, Doc. Someone's paper's
but-
missing.
But you know, when you have students like you all were, you always get this good feeling. You get this feeling that, hey, these guys were raised right. They love sports. They have a goal in mind. They don't just come to college, even though you played a lot and you're very, what I call, you know, outgoing and charismatic. You know, maybe partied a little bit more than you needed to, but
Yeah.
still, I knew that you guys were going to be successful. So whatever I did for you was going to help you one day put a check in the bank, buy a car, or settle down and find, you know, somebody who was a life partner or whatever that. So to me, to be honest with you, and I'm serious about that. I look back on that because if you look at my Facebook page and even the Zoom room that I had, you have no idea how many people tried to get into that Zoom room. I mean, they would tell Doc, "You got to get me in. You got to get me in," because they wanted to come and share my parting moment with them. And so, to me, those are the kind of things that, and just like when you know Kevin his Zumba, I mean, you know that became almost you know a noun. You know what I mean, for everybody in class. You know, we're gonna go Zumba. You know what I mean, and so. And Kevin was able to create a whole following, a brand, you know? And so to me, I think those are the kind of things that really touch my heart as I look back on it, because I knew I was living a unique experience being a Black professor in a majority white university with majority white students who I was able to reach them personally, touch them, and have them, you know, get close to me. And the things we shared, a lot of times weren't always the most pleasant thing. But to me, that's what was needed at the time. And because you all respected me, you went along with it. You didn't just say, hey, you know, heck with it, I'm just going to drop the class or whatever. You all stuck in with me. And sometimes, you know, that's all you can ask for.
Well, I'll tell you this, Doc. We've had countless West Virginia people on this podcast with us. We've had Vince, we've had Steve, we've had Steph, Lauren, Leland. We've had a bunch of us, and we'll all agree. Yes, there are times, Doc, we did not see eye to eye with you, and we were confused on what we were doing or yelling at each other. But you, out of all the professors that we had at West Virginia within sport management program, we're probably the only professor that truly got us ready for what life was going to be like after college.
And 100%.
That's a fact.
100%. I in my whenever so I do new trainings for my job, and I do a lot of like new hire trainings, and one of the things I do is talk about who inspired you, and I tell all my new hires my stories about your class, Doc, and I tell them you would drive us nuts with emailing us at 9:55 in the evening saying we had a 5-page paper due 12 hours later, in which you just saw us at a sport management meeting. And I told them, like, you were the only one that ever got me truly ready to understand, like, when you get into the real world, there's just going to be ish that you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to figure it out, whether you like it or not. And I carry that with me till this day. And I take that with the people that I hire. It's like, hey, sometimes you just got to eat it. But if you want it and you want to go ahead and move forward, you'll do what you're supposed to do, and the work will speak for itself.
Yep.
So I
Thank you.
always kudos
Thank
to
you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. It means more than you can imagine. Because, you know, like I said, one of the things that I realized, this is true. Every time I looked at a class that came in, I would look at their GPA come into class. They were smart students. They were not dummies. We didn't let dummies into the sport management program. And so to me, I said, what is the best contribution I can make to help these students move forward in their career? And the number one thing that kept coming to my mind, You have to make them uncomfortable.
Mm.
You got to challenge them. You got to make them think. You got to make them sit down and become defensive about, what do I really know? Why do I really know? When we ask you, does sport build character? You know what I mean? And participation trophies. The value of uh, minorities in coaching positions, and why should we be advocating for those kind of things? All the things that we really got into at a deep level cause you to become uncomfortable, cause you to make you think, make you challenge your own self. And when I got you sitting there challenging your own position on things, to me, that was a win for me. That was a win, because it wasn't that you're going to be right or wrong. That was one thing you all realized. Doc, what's the right answer? You know what I mean?
You
the right
didn't even
answer
have
is,
an answer.
well, because the right answer is the answer that you need to find. You
Yeah.
need to find those answers. You know what I mean? Because the answer today is not the answer tomorrow. It's just like they say, today's price is not tomorrow's price. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the idea of how you all were able to be prepared to understand that you're not always going to be right, but darn it, you have to be prepared with the options that you can go through in order to succeed and move forward. And you all did such a great job at that. And like I said, when I saw this classes go and I went to the graduation, I just always went home on the way home, and I, kind of got a little teary eyed. Said, "Wow, I hate to see those guys go." But
I-
to my surprise, you guys were able to stick in there with me and keep in touch and friend me on Facebook. And here it is. What, 10 years later, we're still communicating. That to me is a good thing.
I think I've talked
Totally.
to. You're probably the only presser I've actually ever continued talking to after leaving school at any level, like
Yep.
to
I
any
agree.
degree. It is funny. My mom will actually bring up this picture all the time. Is a picture of Doc and I right after graduation, like
I remember
right
that. I had that.
after we walked off the stage. Everything, we're all in the back of the auditorium, like hanging out, and just Doc's big old smile on his face. He's like, "Thank God I don't have to deal with him anymore. Get him out of here." Bye.
But you know
Well,
what?
well, at least you had Doc at your graduation. Doc, you had a prior engagement, so you weren't at mine. But I still, till this day, have the picture of when you met my parents and my sister,
Remember that?
who
Oh my
came to
goodness!
that was my sister's first ever college football game. She even went to
Wow.
Rutgers, never went to any college football games.
Wow.
That day
Wow.
when you saw me was her first ever college football game ever.
Wow.
And my
Wow.
parents always talk about, oh, yeah, there's your professor. And then they always love it. And then, like, my parents still love going to football games till this day. So we always
my-
talk about that when we got to see you, too.
Wow.
My
Wow.
parents are
That's
always like,
amazing.
how's Doc? I'm like, you mean Doc? We don't call him anything else besides Doc. He's doing great. Last time I
He's
talked
the
to him,
Doc.
like
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
But remember this, guys, and this is one thing. Merritt and I had a really big falling out. I mean, I don't know how we got over that. We had a major
Oh yeah,
dust
we
up.
yelled at each other. That was good.
Oh my goodness! Remember that? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that was good. I think I came crawling back with my tail between my legs, going, "Okay, I screwed up. My fault. Let's go."
But you know what you did though? You did go to the dean, so that was one thing I really value and appreciate. Okay.
No, there's no reason to go to higher ups. It was between you and me. I'm not bringing in the dean or the other person we don't want to mention because none of us like him at all. So yeah, no, there was no reason to go to them.
So
There was
that's
none.
funny. That's what's funny because I would always have a bet with my family. I said, okay, within 3 weeks of the class, I'm gonna have one student that's gonna go to the dean, at least one. And I knew it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on. He's not following the syllabus.
I don't.
We've
Did we
had
have
3
anyone
tests
go to
already.
the dean in our class?
I don't think so.
I don't. I
Wasn't-
think I know my class definitely didn't.
I don't
But
think my class did
you
either.
bet your ass that we had hella surveys on Doc, and you presented
Oh
your next semester,
God!
and I'm like, oh shoot, there's mine up there, and then everybody, oh, shit, yours was right under mine. I'm like, oh my God,
Oh
Remember?
yeah.
terrible.
Y'all said some terrible things about me, and I put
yeah.
him right up there too. He's
Oh,
not
100%.
organized. He's not organized. The guy
Yeah,
is-
everyone would blame Doc for not being organized, and then I became his like teaching aide for a semester, and I'm trying to organize his office, and I'm just like, Doc, these papers are from 10 years ago. I just don't need them. Why do you still need papers from 10 years ago? Are you regrading them like now? Like what the hell?
But you know what? It's a funny thing about that. I still have a lot of those papers, and when I look at them, I think to myself, where are these students now? And I like to look at their papers and kind of compare what they're doing now and see if I can see a glimmer of what they wrote about and how they thought. That
Oh,
would give me
man.
an indication of their pathway to success. And Audra Watson, one of the first. I can just start throwing names out that I just remember their work and the
Mhm.
value and the quality of their work and how that. I mean, even with Kevin. Kevin was a hell of a writer. I mean, he was able to write really well. And I always appreciated his work because he didn't make any bones about it. Doc, I'm your best Filipino student you got.
I think I
And
probably your am I let me be honest. Doc, am I your
Probably the
only
only.
Filipino student? I have to be. I gotta be a legendary status.
I think you
I-
have.
I
And
had to have
Mary,
been the only practice player.
no, I think what always was relevant to me is your diabetes and
Oh, yeah.
how you were always trying to make sure that you had your sugar balance and those kind of things. And so that kind of made me feel a little bit sympathetic towards you
Oh.
because I thought
Got the sympathy
because
card from Doc.
because I knew that as a young kid, having that was a lot of discipline to
Mhm.
manage that and to be able to do all the things you did from a class and your activities and your work and being a practice player. So I had a lot of empathy, I guess I should say, for you and your position. So when you got a little hyper, I just kind of blamed it on your
Yeah, there was a lot of. Did
the
you
medical condition.
just put insulin in? The fuck?
Yeah.
Doc just say that to me? Yep. All right, whatever. I guess I'll just go to the corner and put insulin in.
Oh, that was funny.
All right, so Kevin, you want to ask any question on the list, or do you want to just
No, yeah,
keep
we're
this
going down the questions. Doc, what was your most memorable time with myself and Merritt in class that you could remember?
Well, one of the most memorable times is when you all were doing your presentations and how you were up there doing your presentations, and I was really trying my best not to get too emotional with you guys but for some reason you all were just really not prepared. And so oh yeah, I had to kind of embarrass you in front of your peers, and you guys really didn't like that. And I thought to myself, what are they going to do, how are they going to react to it?
Oh yeah, then
And
Doc
so
would start yelling at us in the middle of a presentation.
go
Well,
sit down, go sit
I
down.
will never forget the infamous where you gave like the person who was in the front the index cards of how much time was
I
left,
was left.
and it would go from 4 minutes and 30 seconds to 20 seconds, and you're like, and the like presentation's done.
Yep, I remember that, and I would tell you all to sit down. That's enough. You're done.
I just
Doc,
remember
I'm not- Doc, I'm
walking
not
up and
finished yet.
going like, all right, cool. You see my presentation? I'm walking away. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm just
Remember
not.
that? Remember that? Oh my goodness, Merritt, you
Uh,
did that. You
I
did
did.
that.
I did. I
Oh.
literally walked up and said, Doc, I don't have this done because I'm supposed to go tomorrow. And you're like, well, I'm having you go today. I'm like, oh, I don't have it with me. So I'll do it tomorrow. And I sat back down and Doc just stares at me like, what? Like, what? And I'm going, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah, we had more than one incident like that,
Oh,
but
it's fine.
I really think about that and how it was indicative to me that you all were very busy students. You had a life. You really had a life. You weren't just sitting at the bar or out at the clubs. You all were doing, work with the sport management club. You were tutoring. You were working, with folks at the rec center. You were doing a lot of things that I thought was very worth your academic time, and so that's why you still got an A out of my class.
I fully appreciate. Definitely.
Thank God for that A.
Right?
Yeah, because I was not getting an A in Professor Lee's class. Hell no.
I mean, yeah, I never could get an A in her class. I swear, I always got away with B minuses for
Dude,
whatever
I got
reason.
B's in that class or a B minus. I was happy. That was tough. God, that
Yeah,
was
but
so hard.
that's interesting.
Well, the best
Yeah.
though, my favorite memory of Doc was when it was the smaller class. I can't remember what class it was. It was like an
That
evening.
was that was the class on the writing class.
Was it the writing
The
class?
issues
Yeah,
issues
sports
class.
issues.
Yeah, sports
issues.
issues of sport. Yep.
Yeah. And it was myself and Shadow were in the class. And apparently we had a presentation that day. And Shadow and I walked into class. Everyone else is like dressed business casual, whatever. I'm wearing a soccer jersey. Shadow's wearing a soccer jersey. We both walk in and we go, is there a presentation? Oh, there's a big thunder storm. Oh, Thunder's Cup rolling in. Yes. And Doc's like, yeah, you have a presentation. I go, when? Today. Okay, well, I guess I'll figure it out. And Shadow and I both look at each other going, did you know we had a presentation? No. And Doc, that leads into the story I was going to tell you before is you can't get mad at us now because one, Shadow is no longer with us. Rest in peace. Sad for that one. But that class, Shadow didn't write his paper.
He didn't. What? Who wrote it?
I did. It was a paper I wrote for Dr. Bravo's class, and Shadow took the same, and we weren't in the same Dr. Bravo class. So we had no idea about my paper, but I had written a paper about racism in soccer. And that's what he wrote about in your class. So I was like, Shadow, do you just want to take this and like see what it is? He literally showed me the paper the day he passed it in. It didn't change a thing.
Oh my God. Can you believe that, Doc? Oh my goodness.
Now I'm getting mad. What happened to him, by the way?
Car accident. Yeah. It was like 2014, 2015. He was in a car accident out in San Diego.
Now, what was his full name again?
Oh,
I know we had a nickname for him.
Shadow
Shadow was the nickname, but it
Yeah.
was like Shadow Sabele or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. He was awesome. I loved him. He was a great guy.
Tall guy.
Yeah, about my height. I would say
And
a
he
little
played-
shorter than me.
Did
Soccer.
he play soccer?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. We
Yep.
know whenever he died, I thought it was Ray Gaddis who it was. You know what I mean? But it was
Oh, yeah.
it was not. Yeah, I got those two mixed up. That's really sad.
Mhm.
But but that's really not good that you
I was helping out a
cheated.
fellow student.
you cheated. That's a shame.
Hey, you literally just said who didn't do that. Like not even 20 minutes ago. So don't even try to get on that high horse of yours.
SMH.
SMH. I say that to this day, Doc. When somebody comes up to
SMH.
me and says something stupid, SMH. Or now my new thing is sad face. That's my new one.
You like that one more.
Yeah.
I hear you say sad face more.
Yeah. I've been going on with the sad face because I was like, yeah, that's instead of having a sad face, I'm just gonna say it. Sad face.
So let me ask you this question, since
Here we
you all
go.
have been
Oh,
a lot
let's
dear to
go.
me. Why are you all going to all these stadiums together? That's costing you all tons of money. You could be saving for your retirement, putting away for, buying a new car, buying whatever. You all are just spending that ton of money
Doc,
entertaining yourselves. How
It
many
is
stadiums have
not.
you gone to
It
so
is
far?
not that much money, truthfully.
it's not that bad.
We are. It's really not that much. But I thought of the segment as something to do as a part of the podcast, like a spinoff. It is called We Out Here, and it's just we were just going out, and it started when we went to Pittsburgh last
Yeah,
year.
I was gonna say it started there.
It started there, and then me and Merritt just kind of put our heads together and like, what if we just kind of like when we go to a sporting event, just kind of document our time there and show us around something different, something cool. And that's where it started. There haven't been too many. We haven't spent like a lot of money going out. It's
The brawl is
pretty
probably what
average.
spends the majority of our money. is
That
the-
probably
going to the
was
brawl.
that was probably the one that was the most, was the backyard brawl.
This
But
year
How many
everything
stadiums
else-
have y'all gone? How many stadiums have y'all gone to?
We've done together. We've done Pittsburgh. We've done Brooklyn.
Yep.
We've done the Islanders, and we did the
Boston.
Garden.
TD Garden.
And then Kevin's gone to Philly. He's done a couple wrestling ones on his own. And then
I did. I went to the national championship when I was on
Yep.
Oh,
vacation.
did you?
Yeah, he went
Yeah,
there.
football. It was a spectacle. I was like, wow, so many
Section
beautiful women.
500, top
And
of the stadium.
it was at the top of the
Wow.
stadium, and it was a torrential downpour that day, the most rain that California got in like months.
Hey
And,
guys,
like- Go ahead.
I just found out that my phone is about to die here, so I don't know if
Okay.
I need to go charge it, or because if it goes blank, that my phone
Well,
battery went down.
all right. So how about this then, Doc? We'll wrap it up for you so that your battery doesn't die and that we don't lose you. The last question I want to ask, and Kevin can ask another one too, of course, is will you be at the backyard brawl this year in West Virginia?
The answer is probably hell no.
God damn it. That just makes me sad because the follow-up question to that is, would you have a beer with us? But now you're not going to be there. So
Well, listen, when you all were at the pit game, I ran into you. We had a nice time. We grabbed a
That's
beer.
true.
We had a nice talk. If we could get together before the game early, what time? When are y'all getting into town? Do you have tickets?
Yeah, I have
Yes.
season tickets for West Virginia now.
Oh,
Officially.
really?
Yeah, I bought seasons this year. But we're coming in.
I projected we're coming in
Wow.
Friday.
Yeah, we should be in Morgantown by like 11
Afternoon.
or 12 o'clock.
In an afternoon?
Yeah, no, for like in the morning or real early afternoon on that Friday before the game.
Is the game on Friday? If it was on
Saturday.
Saturday is the game.
But we get in
Oh,
the
okay.
day before so that we can get everything we need, and then we can start tailgating at 6 a.m. the next day.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I'm bringing a griddle. We're going all out, Doc. This is
Well, tell me this. When is the game?
7 p.m. on
7
Saturday, the 19th,
p.m.
the 16th,
Okay.
whatever.
On September 16th.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'm going to Africa, I think, next week. But I'd love to get together with you before the game. If
Yeah.
I can drive down, hang out with you guys, and then I can leave and get back home in time to watch the game at home. I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Or if you want to come down
I'm so
Friday,
excited.
we'll be there Friday. So come on down too. We can do
Okay,
dinner or something.
Okay, well, we'll see. It just depends. Just depends. But sounds like a great opportunity. And I want to thank you guys for having me on your show. I hope it's not the last time. I appreciate the fact that you all are so innovative and creative. I always talked about being entrepreneurs, using your skills as a manager and an executive to, create wealth, to generate, opportunity out of the talents that you have.
Well,
And
this
to
hasn't
me-
made us money yet, so we haven't made the wealth part yet. We'll get there.
We're working
Well,
on that.
Well, my advice to you is do a better job of keeping up with your classmates that are doing well. You need to cultivate those friendships so that hey, I hear you at the Panthers, I hear you at the Denver. You know what I mean? Do keep up with those folks. Even with McAfee, he'll
I've
come on.
tried.
He'll let you on the show. Well, yeah, but you have to build a relationship. You don't just go on there and say, hey, come on my show. You have to, on LinkedIn.
I reached out and we asked for advice on how we could slowly get better at what we've done. I
What
haven't
did he
heard
say?
back, and that was a year ago.
Well, but he is in his growth spurt as well. When people are going up, a lot of times they're under pressure, they're challenged, and they're enjoying the glory. It's going to their head. Their, you know
I
what I
believe
mean.
that's gone to his head.
So they do a lot of that kind of stuff, and then but after they get there for a while, then they get settled in, and then all of a sudden they can start. The other thing too, you need to start looking at some of the WVU athletes that are out there. Get some of those rascals on your show. That can get you places. But I think it's great. I'm going to try to listen to you if you send me the link to the show. When does it air?
Whenever our producer can get it out, which is typically by Fridays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, they go and they edit it and then they get it sent out.
Thank God we have a producer because I'm horrible at that stuff.
Well, that's a good thing that you do that. But once again, thank you so much for having me on. I just appreciate you so much. I will make it a point, if the Lord's willing, to catch up with you guys when you come in town for the Pitt, West Virginia game. Remember what I said, though. Mountaineers are going to rock and roll this year.
All right, Doc. We will. That'll be
Absolutely.
a clip on Facebook or not Facebook, Instagram. Wow, I can't believe I said that. But Doc, it's always a pleasure to see you, talk with you.
Sure.
Definitely, this is not the last time we'll have you on at all. Maybe we'll just, and maybe we should just do a quote unquote roast of Doc. That would be fun.
No, I don't think so.
What if we did a roast, Kevin?
Oh my! Oh
I mean, we technically have some material already. If
Oh,
I
we
just
have.
think through.
We have material. Our friends that have been on this podcast that were in sport management have material. Doc, we could, and then you could blast us back too. You have plenty of material on us.
Hey, well, listen. What happens to me, though, to be honest with you, is I forget the bad stuff. I remember all the good stuff about you guys. So,
Oh, we remember good stuff.
We remember good stuff.
We remember
do
good
you?
stuff. Oh yeah.
Oh, so I
course.
can't roast you because I'll just say nice things about you.
Oh no, you won't.
No, you'll get us at some
Doc
point.
would literally destroy me. I feel like he would just come right after
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, he'll definitely go after you for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
What I
100%.
was worried about is why do you always have a beard? That's my last question to you. Why do you always have a beard?
If I can
Come on.
grow it, why not?
Because
I also don't like not being clean shaven. It's just not
I
me.
have to be clean shaven. That's a Kevin thing for sure.
That's a Kevin thing. Merritt has the beard. My wife also will not let me shave my beard off because she's never seen me without facial hair. And when I've gone down really low, like literally almost to nothing, she looks at me like, "Who are you?" So we keep the beard.
So it's a macho thing. Then that's all I had to say.
That out of all that I just said, it's a macho.
Oh my goodness! See,
I can't with Doc.
Kevin, you understand it. All right, guys, appreciate you.
Doc, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you
It's a
soon.
pleasure, Doc.
Keep it real.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye, Doc.
Bye.
Oh boy, Doc's still there. He's still trying. Oh, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
So guys, that's Dr. Jones, the
Yeah.
infamous Dr. Jones that we've brought people on, and they always say, "What is your best Doc moment?" That's Doc, and he honestly,
He
I'm not gonna
delivered.
lie to you guys.
he delivered.
If you guys were ever in our sport management classes, Merritt, honestly, I felt all the vibes, like literally flashing back as we're staying, as he's telling us everything.
Kevin,
Love him to death.
when he started going into the WNBA spiel, I just
I was
sat
like,
there
oh my God,
and
here
could
we go.
picture sitting in that desk, you sitting here, both of us either doing Sudoku
Or Temple Run.
or Temple Run, and then Eric just getting all pissed off and leaving, and Leland just kind of sitting there going, yep, it literally just all flashed back to sitting in that dungeon of a room on the second floor at the Coliseum.
And it's the room that has no windows, so pretty much you're screwed if
It was
you're
a dungeon.
dying.
It was a dungeon.
But at the
Like,
same time, shout out to Doc. He's the reason that reunited myself and Merritt and all of our sport management friends. For anyone, y'all gotta definitely listen to this episode. You guys will enjoy this one. And
this is a hoop. This will be one that I think I'm gonna have, once it's put out there, I'm gonna have to blast this out to all the WVU people that are in my phone in our contacts.
Do
This
it.
is
We need
this is
we need the
100%.
views up anyway.
This is 100% going out to everybody. So please, it's going to be hysterical to listen to. Anyone that knows Doc, even if you don't know Doc, you're gonna laugh. It's
We didn't even get a chance to go through like the rest of
Dude.
the questions because there's some great questions you had. So
I know.
we're gonna need to bring him back.
We have to because there's so many good. I want him.
And I wanted him to see what other questions he was gonna ask us.
I was so mad we didn't get to talk about the question that he asked. I'm
Well,
like,
what we did.
but how we did this.
Yeah, that's true.
So
All right, well,
let's just answer that question because Doc asked the question prior. So
if Doc listens to us, hopefully he does. Maybe he don't.
So
go ahead, Mary.
So before the podcast started, Doc asked this question: how did y'all do this? How did y'all create a podcast? Kevin, you started answering it, and then we were like, wait, we should answer this while we're rolling. So, Kevin, answer the question of how we started this podcast.
So we started this podcast, which came out of inspiration of his infamous Zoom rooms that Doc invited myself and Merritt to be a guest on for one of his sport management classes. So myself and Merritt were scheduled one day to be a guest on his Zoom room. Merritt presented, I presented. We had another girl that presented as well. So it was the three of us that presented at the same time. And pretty much from there, it was like Merritt and I have always kept in touch. But that was like the first time I got to see Merritt like just in a while, other than like
besides like seeing posts on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah.
That was the first time. And then the second time, that was like the second time because I think you came and visited me when I was at the stadium.
Yeah, because my wife and I went to the Patriots Jets game like in 2021. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm pretty, we got together to meet up and can reconnect as in a sense. And then you reached out like maybe a couple weeks later, like, would you be interested in doing the sports podcast? And I was like, yeah, I just don't know what the hell we have to do. And I'm pretty sure it just ended up being, all right, well, I talked to my buddy, like he said we got to get this and this. And then you go, all right, here's what I've ordered. The next week, all right, cool, I ordered mine. And then we're like, okay, so when do you want to record? Oh, Tuesday? All right, cool. Let's do Tuesday. Tuesday came, we recorded, and that was the first episode. Then it became the second, and then the third. Then it became episode 10, episode 20. Oh, we have this guest. Let's get this guest on. Yeah. Oh, let's go to this. Let's get this guest on. Oh, Kevin, you're going to do it from location? Cool. I'm going to get this guest on. And now we are literally on episode
80.
Hold on. Is it definitely 88 for sure?
88, man. Yeah. We would be at, so we would technically be, I think, at like 80.
Yeah. This is
right now.
Yeah, we would have been at 89, but we missed 1 week.
We took a week off because of traveling and we have lives. We aren't always going to be able to record.
Mm-hmm.
So we're lucky that we were able to when we can. So
88 episodes. We are a podcast that has 88 episodes.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever thought I'd even have one. And remember, I showed you that post. It was like, some podcasts end after episode 2. So if you're really good, you'll end at episode 5. If you're really good, you'll get to episode 10. We're at 88.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Humbly at 88.
Hey, I'm happy where we're at. Like we were saying with Doc, like we would love to get to the next level where this makes us money. But honestly, this is it's like a hobby to me now where
it is.
It's just fun. Like I love, I tell Ashley, like, hey, I got my podcast. Like, okay, well, have fun. All right, bye. It's just one of those things where it gets you away from your day-to-day grind. And the jobs that you and I have, they're a grind sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're great. We love them.
Sometimes they suck.
But there's days where I just hate my life because of certain things in my life, not just job related. It's work life related, and this podcast is a release for that, and it's
100%.
fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Unreal. So what definitely we're gonna definitely have to get Doc back on. But yeah, what else do we got? Is that all? I don't think we missed anything.
I don't think we missed anything besides asking Doc like 7 more questions. But he had to go.
Yeah, because his phone was about to die. We gotta make sure he
Why is that man?
his cell phone.
Why that man didn't have it on his computer is beyond me. Like, come on, Doc.
Hey, he's hip out here. He's doing it on his AirPods.
He's a hip. Yeah, well, that's true. He is hip. Like,
do you remember when on the Zoom room, because he had the huge headphones that were bigger than both of our heads? It's crazy.
I was like, what is that? He's just yelling.
Love it.
That was great.
I love it.
That's Doc for you guys. So enjoy. Honestly, enjoy this one. I honestly think it'd be funny if we could do a roast, but a nice roast.
I have an idea, but I'll tell you it off
All right,
air.
let's talk about it after we finish recording. So, Kevin, I think that's all we've got. Andrew's not here with us, so he can't tell us that if we messed up or screwed up on anything we talked
Bad
about.
face, Andrew.
And he won't be here next week, and he won't be here the
3
weekend.
weeks.
Yeah, he leaves Friday for
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. I can't remember where he's flying to, but we'll ask him and he'll hear this and tell us that we're idiots, that we don't remember these things. But yeah, he's gone for study abroad for 3 weeks over in Europe. So
living the dream, man.
Enjoy that. Stay safe out there, Andrew. We need you to come back. Mainly because 1, you're my brother-in-law and I like you, and 2, because you're the producer of this show and we'll fall apart without you.
And also, yeah, we're going to the Backyard Brawl together, so like we definitely need you back ASAP Rocky.
Or if you somehow don't come back, Kevin has an extra ticket to bring somebody else. Sad face that would happen, but
face, that would be very huge sad face.
Oh, let's see what's going on in this game.
Yeah, what's the score?
I have no idea.
All right.
Joke.
Well, while Merritt is watching the finals right now, and
shit.
Oh.
Miami is up 51-42 with 1:20 left in the first half.
Okay, all right. Well, first half, guys. All right.
So apparently Bam's had a big first half. That's why.
Oh, well, bless Bam out of bio. Shout out to him. So outro time it is, because it's 9:37 and Merritt needs to go to the gym in the morning, and very possible that I'm going to be going to the gym in the morning as well. Shout out to my team, Vicious and Delicious, as my team at my gym. Shout out to you guys. But I digress. Outro time. So if you want to go ahead and watch this podcast with Dr. Jones, make sure you watch it on our YouTube page, the Manly Musings Podcast. Make sure you also, if you want to just listen to us, feel free to subscribe to us as we are on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we are on Amazon Prime, and we are on Google Play. Is that correct, Merritt? Right?
Yes, we are on everything but Pandora. I'm pretty sure.
Everything but Pandora. So boom. Now, we're big on Instagram. If you want to follow us on Instagram, follow the podcast at the Manly Musings Pod. You can follow Merritt's Instagram at Merritt_P. You can follow my Instagram at KQuava624. Make sure you like and subscribe to us. We'd love to hear your comments other than just Cyrus's comments.
And also, with that, come up with a middle name for my child.
There you go. If anybody has any ideas for Merritt's child, a middle name,
clip this.
Yes, we'll clip it up and we'll figure it out from there. But yes, 9:39. It's time for us to go to bed. Happy Monday, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace. Y'all.